Welcome to you all. Welcome to the sunshine. Very welcome indeed. I address you as friends and neighbours. I address you as fellow victims of greedy developers and cynical landlords. I welcome you to this rally organised by ROAR, ROAR being a gathering of citizens and local organisations in Oxfordshire, all together alarmed at the way in which our local communities are being picked off one by one. We come together today to remind ourselves, each one of us in our own village and locality, that we are not alone. We have each other, we are all together. And all over Britain, people are finding themselves in the same plight. By uniting against this threat, we will, we believe, be much stronger. Together, we can see that the root of the problem is not just the greed of developers here and there, but the general breakdown of the traditional local democratic control of town and country development. The development free-for-all, which is now threatening to destroy our communities and our environments, comes not from random opportunism in this, that, or the other Oxfordshire village, but it comes basically from Whitehall. Now, this is not, absolutely not, a party political matter. No manifesto at the last election promised to hand over local and democratic control of development to private and commercial interests. And yet that is what is happening behind a fog of evasion and misinformation. In Oxfordshire, as in other counties, a newfangled cartel, an almost Orwellian monster of private interests, miscalled the Local Enterprise Partnership, has been appointed by Whitehall, elected by nobody, to drive through a so-called strategic economic plan over the heads, behind the backs, and against the wishes of local people and their elected representatives. To be sure, it boasts an arm called a growth board, on which the leaders of selected local councils sit. But they, the leaders, have no power in that role to overrule the economic plan, which in fact is written by private consultants, many of whose day jobs consist of richly funded contracts from developers and landowners for whom they work. The only job of the local council leaders in this scheme of things is to see that the growth plans are implemented. And the growth plans are written to justify the wildest ambitions of the consultants' real paymasters for the largest possible number of developments. Whether in the green belt, or in areas of outstanding natural beauty, or in green fields, or indeed, as is happening, to fill up the open areas that hitherto have marked the distinctive character and personality of separate towns and villages in Oxfordshire. The councils which these leaders represent have no say at all in these strategic plans and no opportunity to veto or prevent them. I and other like-minded supporters of the Need Not Greed in Oxfordshire campaign, which you see represented here, recently attended a so-called consultation by the Local Enterprise Partnership over what they choose to call a refreshment, yet further inflation, i.e., of their strategic economic plans. I have to tell you that this consultation was an insulting farce. The groups into which we were divided were not allowed to choose their own chairman, and instead we were offered pre-committed trustees foisted upon them. We were laughed at for questioning the local and democratic legitimacy of the local enterprise partnership, and our principal objections to its role and to its figuring were brushed aside in anodyne paraphrases which consistently missed the whole point of what we were trying to say. Ladies and gentlemen, you will have seen claims in the local press from time to time that this uncontrolled free-for-all for developers is justified by the national housing shortage, and that anybody who opposes it is a selfish NIMBY, denying to others the homes that they themselves enjoy. These, ladies and gentlemen, are lies, and they come not from the mouths of the poor and the homeless, but from the confederates and PR hirelings of the developers and landowners, who expect to make gargantuan profits from ruining the homes and communities and environments of ordinary people all over Oxfordshire and beyond. The houses which these London-based property developers want to build will not provide a home for a single homeless or needy family in our county. Do the sums yourselves. They are set out, in fact, in a convenient note, copies of which are available to you from any one of our rally stewards. According to the government's own website, a person in Oxfordshire on average earnings and with cash reserves sufficient to put up a 20% deposit, such a person could get a mortgage sufficient to afford a house priced at between £120,000 and £140,000. Two such average earners in a partnership could possibly afford a house of up to, at a maximum, £260,000. I ask you, how many houses have you seen advertised in new developments in Oxfordshire at prices like that? Very few, if any. No, as I say, what you are being told is a lie. The developers are no more interested in helping the homeless than they are in any other charitable works. They want profits. They want lots of them, and they want them now. And they don't care how many of our homes and our communities and our environments they destroy in the process. Executive mansions and weekend hideaways for city bankers and spivs with well-laundered fortunes, they are the true customers for this sort of development scramble. What this free-for-all offers is the wrong houses in the wrong places for the wrong people at the wrong prices. What we need is the right house, the right houses in the right places for the right people at prices which those who need them can afford. What, you may well ask, can you do about it? Are we, as usual, powerless and bound to lie down in front of this juggernaut as its tracks grind us into the mud, together with our homes and our futures? Raw says no. We can fight back. We must fight back. And we will fight back. We demand that normal, democratic and local control over development be restored.